I have no reason why they did what they did.
Well, meantime, Israel's military said 3 explosive devices had been detonated near its troops in 2 locations in northern Gaza. Both Israel and Hamas accusing each other of breaching this ceasefire. Israel's military does vow to resume the war with full force once this deal is over. Let's bring in now Lieutenant Colonel Jonathan Conricus, spokesperson for the Israel Defense Force. Lieutenant Colonel, thank you so much for being here. First of all, do we have any update on those young children still presumed to be held hostage?
So we know that they're held. First of all, thank you for having me. We know that they're held in southern Gaza, most likely Khan Yunis, and that Hamas on purpose handed them over to another terror organization, most likely in order to alleviate pressure from themselves and perhaps to minimize the chances of us getting to them. The gentleman that you interviewed before, that you showed, who says that he cannot understand why Hamas took them, he's right on a rational level, he's right, but we're not talking about rational human beings. We're talking about savage terrorists who not only took children and babies and infants hostage, but also executed babies together with their parents, and did some of the most atrocious acts of savagery that we have seen. So it is clear what we're dealing with, and of course the drama here of babies and women and children and men who have feelings as well are being held by Hamas. It is atrocious, and if you pay attention, you can see that there's a certain evolution in how Hamas is scripting and changing the imagery of how Israeli hostages are returned. Today, you'll see that for the first time, there's less armed Hamas terrorists, and for the first time we are seeing first-time introduced women, Palestinian women with traditional clothing, that are now escorting our hostages, especially the women. That's a first, which indicates how important the whole visual aspect is for Hamas, and how much they want the world to think that they are benign and humane after holding these people for 53 days in cruel captivity in Gaza.
Lieutenant Colonel, I want to go back to what you said at the start of your answer there about the children being transferred to another militant group. Is there also a chance then that other hostages have also been handed over to a different militant group?
Yes, there is a chance, and we are focusing a lot of our intelligence capabilities exactly at monitoring, trying to monitor what Hamas is doing. Almost all of them, or I would say all of them, categorically are held underground in various locations under the Gaza Strip. Some of them in the center, some of them in the south, perhaps they're also in the north. But the bottom line is that this is the key effort for Hamas. There's nothing more important for Hamas than our hostages, because they assess them as political bargaining chips, and they are feeding off exactly the kind of sentiment that is being generated inside Israel, the outrage, the fear, the frustration, and the anger of the fact that the Israeli babies are being held in Gaza. That is exactly what Hamas is looking for, and that is how they will try to manipulate public opinion in Israel and global public opinion in order to force Israel to stop our maneuver against Hamas, and perhaps to reach some kind of more permanent ceasefire. That is not going to happen. As far as the IDF is concerned, we are ready and totally committed to continue fighting against Hamas until we're able to totally dismantle Hamas in all of its military and administrative capabilities.
All right, Lieutenant Colonel, as you just said right there will not be a permanent ceasefire. As I said at the top of this, we know that there are accusations from both sides of violations of this temporary truce. What is the likelihood that this ceasefire will be extended in any capacity?
So we understand that Hamas are trying to extend it. As per the agreed upon framework, there are additional days like today that are part of the framework, where if they deliver 10 live Israeli hostages, then there is another day of pause in operations. Like everything with Hamas, you can only trust it once you have hands-on and you can verify it by yourself.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.